How do? Right then, first big build of the year. This and this and some other bits are going to become the sword from Hollow Knight video game. I don't know much about the game myself. I know more about Skyrim and Warhammer, but this was a request that get made for a young lad who's a fan of the game, so I'm gonna get started. So, well, it's not going to be a shop, well, just because, but it's still going to be a sizable lump of steel. So, right, the first job is to turn that into a ring. So let's stick it in the forge once I find me tongs. There they are. Just done a heat treatment on them. Oh. Yay, off to a great start. You numpty. Right, let's try different tongs. Right. God, really ain't get it. It's a thing with bits of round metal that don't stay where they're supposed to. Right. I'll get that up to temperature and we'll start doing some twists. These one cleaning up, ready for tempering. And then I need to find some wood to make the handles. So, and that's going to become an axe as well. They were mistakes off another job, so you can just ignore them. Right, that's as steady as I can get the camera. Right, let's see if I can get this one done. that back in and fix the forge. Never mind. Come on, where's the off button? There. No. Right. Managed to stick the forge back together. So here's the blades cleaned up a bit. So they just need tempering, which I'll do in a bit. And then they just need final sharpening on the tormek. So that's 1095 steel, that's 1095 steel, that is some Suzuki leaf spring, which I believe is probably 5160, if that makes any difference. It's extremely magnetic, so it won't come off the magnet. So there you go, that's looking the part. I'm going to trim down the tang a bit, just so when I find the piece of wood I know it'll actually fit in okay. But yeah, that's starting to look the part. Right, the last bit of the ring I'm probably just going to do, I've got it mostly round, I'm going to probably finish it on the anvil, and then when I'm happy with that I'll show you what it looks like. Right, mostly there. I'm just going to draw down the two ends a little bit, and then just have a little bit extra faff on just to make it a bit more round than what it is, and then it'll be ready to weld on the end. So right, I'll keep going. I'll see if I can set the camera up so it won't fall off anything and show you a little bit more fine tuning. Hold on. Right, that's in, warming up. And just to show you how cold it's been over the last couple of days, it's 2 degrees today. It's probably back in the minuses now, but this is what it's been like over the last couple of days. So yeah, lovely. Anyone thirsty? Right, I'll see if I can set this up without falling over. Right, hopefully you can see that. Which hammer shall I have? This one. Right, they're a little bit closer together. Let's make it a bit rounder. A little bit less that way. Rounder. there. What does that look like? Actually, that's not too bad. Tiny little bit. That's not too bad. It's not like on that one. Right, let's burn my fingers off. Yeah, I don't advise doing that, even with gloves on. Yeah, that's mostly there. So that, if you hang on a minute. It's going to fit on, hopefully you can see that, like that. So there's a little bit I just need to fill in, but that's the wonders of metalwork, forging, is that you can do that. So I'll just have a close-up inspection to see how round it is, and then I'll stick it on the end. Whee. Right then, one last go. That's ready to go. Right, let me sit there for a bit, and I'll get the end prepped. Right, I can't actually see that well, but tempering colours should be coming through. There you go. I think that's starting to go a little bit of a bronzy colour. Yeah, oh, there's a little bit of peacock colours coming through, and yeah, oh aye. Oh, we'll just let it spread up a little bit. Come on, get into focus. let's see if you'll focus now. There you go, let's help it along a little bit. Yeah, I don't know about the knife, but wow, I'm actually tempering my finger. God, yeah, that's hot. There you go, that's coming in nicely, and yeah, there you go, that's pretty. There's one. Right, I'll do the other ones in a minute. Right, there's that one starting to go. If I can finish this off without burning my fingers off. Probably not, because that's burning my finger again, but yeah, that's getting a nice straw bronze colour. Oh yeah, sexy. And there's that one ready to go. Well, if Meatloaf was to screw that one up, then he would say, well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Whee! I'm here all week, folks. Right. Check back in a minute. Right then, I didn't film tempering that one because I really wanted to concentrate on it because it was bigger blade. If I get that a bit more in the light, but that looks quite pretty. So I've had the Rockwell files as opposed to the Rockford files, which was a TV series, on 55 skates right off, and the number 60, if you can make it out. No, well anyway, there's the tiniest little scrape in there, and there, and there. So I'm guessing, you know, they're right on the money temporary wise. So yeah, they're pretty. It seems a shame to actually finish sharpening now because I'll take some of those colours off. So I'll take them in and I'll get them on the Tormek and get them dangerous sharp, and then I'll see if I can find some handles. Right, let's crack on with this ring, which is cooled down enough so I can actually do a bit of work with it. So I'm just going to clean up in there, and then I'm going to attach it onto the bar. Right, got that sorted. I've made this bit to fit in there, which will then get welded and blended in, and then this will go in the end like so. It'll friction fit because I'll hammer it in and then I've also got a little bit more metal to weld onto, and then I'll just blend it all in and that'll look canny. Right, let's get this bit done before I pack it. Right, here's some progress. So I've got the ring welded up and roughed out. It's now the peg bit is sort of friction fit, and that's not coming out for anything. So now all I need to do, if I can get it to focus, is, well, just weld it in and then blend it in. So weld in, blend in. Right, I'll show you where I'm up to in a minute. Right, so there's that welded on and mostly blended in. There's a few little tidy up bits to do, but it just needs straightening a little bit. It's a tiny bit wonky, if you can make that out, but that's easy enough to straighten up in the forge. And then, you know, I'll just do little tweaks, tidy up as I go. So I'm not going to worry about that too much for now. I'm going to dig out the next bits of metal ready to do the sword bladey bit. There's a few different versions I've seen. I'm not quite sure exactly how long to make the handle. It's probably going to be about there, but then the rest I'm going to be using to build the frame for the blade, and then it's just going to be made from sheet metal folded over, so it's going to be a hollow sword for a hollow knight, because at least then you'll be able to pick it up. If it was solid, God knows what it would weigh, but yeah, you wouldn't be carrying it very far. So I'm going to knock off for now, have my tea, and do very little else for the rest of the night. Right, see you in a bit. Hello. Right, next bit, I've got these bits cut, so I'm going to start making the framework for the sword. So these are going to get welded on either side, and that's just going to be, well, the top end of the sword blade. I think I said I'm making it hollow so it's at least wieldable and I can really make out the diamond profile on it. I've got some metal in the forge there which is going to get welded onto there, and that's going to be the framework of the sword blade, and then I'm going to get some sheet metal to get the well, the rest of the sword made. I will do, but I've only got 2 cutting discs left, so I'm having to pop down to, well, possibly screw fix, but might be the local cheap hardware store if they've got some in the morning, and I'll get some more of them, but I'll stick a big order in, just because I'm going to have lots of cutting. If I was organised, I'd have my plasma cutter sorted, but I'm not. So I'm going to get those 2 bits on, and then I'll show you what I'm doing with the well, the bits that are heating up over there. Right then, a little bit more progress. Because I'm really clever, I measured twice and then cut wrong, so I cut those bits off and then welded some slightly wider bits on. Now they're actually the right size. So this bit is going to get welded on the end and then taper down to, well, the point more or less, I thought I was being clever because I'd actually split down the middle and I was going to widen that and just, well, widen it out so the point was already attached, but then it snapped and separated under the heat, damn it. So that's pretty much the overall length. Because it's going to be mild steel and not a battle ready one, I could imagine the end being a little bit flimsy. So what I might do, if I don't think it's up to the job, because if it's going to bend a bit too easy, I might put some high carbon steel on the end just to give it a bit more oomph. I'm still not going to sharpen it because, yeah, we don't need any bloodshed. So right, I'm now going to get those bits welded and then get some little bits of stuff on here and there, just to strengthen it all, and then see what it looks like. Right, that wasn't a pain at all. I've jumped a step ahead. It worked out it was easier to do the middle bit and then add the well, side bits on. So that's where we're at so far. It's out by about a millimetre, which is annoying us, but there, what can you do? So I've just got the ends just tack welded on for now, because I'll be doing little bits of fine tuning. So the next job is to get the sheet metal cut out and formed, and then I'll fill out the skeleton of it a bit more, just to make it a bit more rigid. Yeah, and then once it's all welded on, then I'll be polishing it, so God knows how long that's going to take. But progress. It's a little bit taller than I'd originally planned, but hey, I don't mind. So I think that'll do for now. So I'll well, go and have me tea, and I'll see you on the next bit. Ba-ding. Bigger than I thought. Giggity. Right, I've got sheet metal cut out, and that's gonna be the blade, both sides. What I've decided to do, I was going to just faff on and do it the poor man's way, but I've decided to fork out and get a sheet metal bender, because that firebox I did was a pain to get that all bent, and I can do this a lot tidier with an actual proper bender. So that's done. All I can do for now until the new bender arrives is fit some strengtheners up and down here and there, so I'll get them done, and then I can't do anything else until the bender arrives. So I'll get stuck in. Right, a few extra little tacks on the end, put those little strengtheners in, and still hot. Yeah, still very hot, but take my word for it, that's a lot stronger now. Now this is very slightly off, so I'm going to put the forge on, straighten that up just those few degrees, and then I can't do anything else until my sheet metal bender arrives. So get that done, and then I'll start another job. Right then, a couple of days later. So the bender has arrived. It's actually different from the instructions, and it's different again from what was advertised. So the brackets to mount on the bench are pointing backwards instead of downwards, so you can't actually, you'd have to make another bracket in order for it to clamp or bolt onto a bench, so that's no good. And then there was this square which I wasn't quite sure what it was for first, but I'm assuming that it's actually to clamp in your leg vise, so it does the job. But then I spent a little bit extra to get one wide enough to do the job, which it's a metre wide, but the handles are only about half the length of what was advertised. So apart from all that, it's pretty good. So I have done a little test bend on a off cut, so I've just kind of guessed the angle, and if I can get that to fit in, there you go, something like that. That's not too bad. So I'm gonna get me bit, which I've prepped. I just made me marks either side, so I'll line them up, see if I can get the same angle, and then do a test fit, see what it looks like. Right, I might swear in a minute. Right, so not only are the handles too short for you to get enough leverage to bend it, because it says it'll do up to 1.2 mil. That's not 1.2 mil. So you get a little crease there, you get a crease at that end, and absolutely nothing happens in the middle. So I've tried adjusting it here and there, and yeah, so you cannot do it one-handed while it's in the vise. Yeah. So you see it bends there and it stays straight there. So what a waste of money and complete load of crap that is. So for all it was the wrong model with the wrong instructions, with brackets pointing the wrong way, with handles that are too short, it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So yeah, so don't buy one of them, everybody. Right, what I'm going to have to do in that case is make a couple of tools for the fly press, which means clearing that bits of crap off, and then just do it bit by bit and hope that I can get it to fold without any uneven creases here and there. So I waited days for it to come. It actually came 2 days early, just in time for it to get returned and me to get a refund, because it's a heap of junk. Oh, and you didn't actually get any Allen keys to nip it up with either. There's another thing. So yeah, don't buy one of them. Right, back to the drawing board. Just for the record, so it does a little bit of a crease there, and then the crease disappears, and then it comes back in a little bit, but then you don't actually get a straight piece where it's folded. It actually just bends back on itself. So heap of junk. Right, I've just done a quick job. I had a bit of spare spring steel chisel, which isn't quite the right size to fit in there, so I've used that as a creasing tool. So I've just edged the metal in and then just dink it along every so often, and this is what I got. So I've used this just as my test piece, which is really just getting that crease in, really sturdied it up an awful lot. You can see the uneven crease, but that's just because I rushed it. So if I just size that up to there, then that gets us, if I get my camera in the right direction, the diamond profile that I was after. I just need to have straight metal now, because on that bit there was just, I had a bit of the excess, and I was just going to grind that off so it was flush and then blend the weld in. That, while it took a bit longer, if I just get a better tool made and a better little V-shape thing to press it into, the angle's about right and the idea is right. So I think tomorrow's job is going to be to get proper tools made and the thing set up so I can actually make sure that just stays right where I want it to, just so I don't get the uneven nubbly bits. So that heap of junk is getting boxed up and sent back to where it came from, and looks like good old fly press oldie worldy technology is going to be the way to go. So good old fly press. If you look back on my earlier videos when I still wasn't used to talking to the camera, well, I'm still not really, but money well spent bringing this back to life. So good old fly press. Right, now I've done that, that's spending all that money's kind of sickened us a bit, so I'm going to pack in and then do some little doodles and come up with my plan to get the proper tool made. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Right, it's another day in the dusty garage. So what I've done is I've made, well, that and that. So the idea is, if I get that in, so that's actually going to do all the creasing that it needs to. Oh, if I could try not to drop my phone, negative. So I have done just a quick test bend on that bit there, and that's a lot tidier than it was with the little rough draft I did the other day. So that's better. It's going to do tidier creases, held it in place with magnets, and I've got the bit ready to go. So we'll see what that looks like in a minute. I need both hands, so I'm not going to record it, well, just in case it goes wrong and you won't hear us swearing all the time. So right, I'll see you in a minute. Well, I'm going to have to tidy up some of the crap. It did such a good job. I've actually done the other bit as well, which is tidied it all up and straightened it up. So I am actually really quite happy with that. So who's a clever lad? Who needed to spend all that money on a rubbish sheet metal bender that doesn't bend? So right, well, I'll be able to send that back, get a refund on it, and I've made myself a nice pretty little metal creasing bendy tool thing. So I'm just going to give this just a little run over just to sort of be extra tidy, and then I'm going to start welding. Pleased with that. Right, got the second bit on. So what I'm doing, I'm just welding it in bit by bit, just so, well, I can keep the warping down to a minimum. Yeah, it's getting there. I think it's only a case of get it done bit by bit, grind it down, smooth it off, do a little bit of fine tuning, and then move on to the next bit and grind that down and move on and blah blah blah. So right, I'll let this bit cool down and then I'll move on. Right, in amongst all the offcuts and crap, it's about half welded, so I'm going to pack in for tonight, go and have my tea, and I'll continue in the morning and make it look prettier. Right then, spent a bit of time this afternoon just getting everything welded in and tidied up, so I'm mostly happy with that. There's some minute little tidy up bits to do, but that's all part of the finish. So I've got these bits which are going to go on there, so they're just going to get sort of tack welded on, and everything's just going to get tapped into place, blended in, then I'll weld everything up, and then the final bit is the point. So there you go. I don't think there's much else to say to that, so let's crack on. Right, that was more of a faff than I thought. Doing this 4 individual bits turned out to be crap, so I redid it with just, well, a longer bit, folded in the middle, and then I had to turn the ampage down even further just so I can get those little seam welds in. Yeah, look a lot tidier once I weld that down. Right, I'm going to grind it down, blend it in, and then see what it looks like, and then I've just got the last little infills to do before doing the point. Right, that bit's mostly done, just wants tidying up, and I've now got an interesting shaped end. Giggity. I couldn't see, I was being dazzled because my eyes are getting tired now. I've still got that last little end, the hole in the end to finish off, and then grind me end down to a point. So I'll do that, and then I think that'll do us for the night. Right then, there's the main build complete. Just needs a few little touch-up tweaks here and there, then a sort of rub down to clean up, you know, straighten a few little bits and bobs out that I'm not happy with, and then it just needs shining up and lacquering, and then it's ready to go. But I am absolutely wrecked now, so I'm going to go and do very little for the rest of the night. Oh crap, I've actually got to do laundry for work in the morning. Yeah, so another session or two and it'll be done. Right, see you in a bit. Right, last couple of nights I've been putting the finishing touches in, so that's it pretty much done. One complete needle from Hello Night Silksong. Would like to have done a few little tweaks here and there, but I needed to get it finished in time for the lad's birthday, so there you go. But I did manage to make him a little key ring with Hornet's head on, so there you go. I'll get a couple of glamour shots of it and then get it delivered.